Good morning, Sully.
What's up, buddy?
Not too much, man. You know, it's a nice Saturday morning. Just enjoying the post-Good Friday goodness, and prior to Easter chow down Sunday. Are we going to talk some Easter food? Or
First off, you gonna break out some pastel-colored pants for Easter? Maybe a little robin's egg blue, something like that?
You know it. This is the time of year for it, man. Whatever you got. Get your yellows, get your teals, get your blues, get your pinks. Put them all together. Make yourself an Easter egg tomorrow, and nobody can complain about it.
You strike me as a bow tie kind of guy on a holiday like Easter.
Absolutely.
See, I got you pegged.
You absolutely, Sully. You know me too well, man. You know me too well.
I'm thinking like a royal blue polka dot bow tie, something like that.
I might do yellow tomorrow. You know, I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'll send you a photo on Twitter that hopefully by then you got 2,000 followers. And all of them can see it.
Yeah,
I know you've been hovering right around that mark.
Getting close, man. You know, I'm trying to keep up with all these milestones we got going on.
Yeah, there's a lot. You know, Pam Tickett's 600 wins.
That's incredible. I mean, 600 wins. I mean, you're talking what, 20 wins for 30 years. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think this is her 30th season, so it's really pretty much 20 wins or I don't know how many wins, but it's over 29. So I mean, that's even more. I guess That's probably like 20. I'm not a math guy. I don't want to. Embarrass.
That's why I went. That's why I went into journalism. I was terrible at math. So.
Oh man, I hate it. It's just the worst.
Couldn't handle algebra, so I said, all right, let me try journalism.
Math and science. Somehow I found a way to never take calculus in my life, and I never had to take physics. Excuse me. So I that was a success in itself.
That's what happens when you go down the liberal arts path. You can avoid all those kind of pitfalls and mines in the academic world.
Yeah, I think I passed math for the liberal arts was the name of the class. Section 1 and 2 in college.
There you go. So let's talk a little softball. We got some teams starting to rise to the top a little bit here. I was checking out some of the standings. How about the Dragons at Kingsway? Off to an 8-1 start.
Kingsway had a fantastic start. Grace Fagan, she was our player of the week last week, pitcher. She won 5 games. She had 5 complete games. She gave up 4 total earned runs and struck out 75 batters.
It's not a bad week.
So 15 a game. 15 a game. Now, I don't want to go back to the math thing, but that's 15 a game. I triple checked it with my accountant. But see, the interesting thing about it is that she pitched against some pretty great teams. I mean, GCIT is very strong. Obviously, Millville, Northern Burlington. These were not Sisters of the Poor that she was pitching against, and still she put up those numbers. So Kingsway, with her pitching, they're going to be tough to beat. And I wrote a story last week about Dave Dominic, their coach, actually applied for the job early summer and at the same time was diagnosed with colorectal cancer and had surgery in August and just finished his chemotherapy the day before opening day. So
that's awesome.
It's a good story there, and they have no seniors. So you can expect to hear about them for this year and next year as well.
And how about the what division is this? The Olympic American. We're used to hearing about how good Washington Township is, and obviously they're off to another great start at 7-1. But they got a little competition. I mean, Eastern's off to a little bit of a slow start, but you also have Cherokee and Shawnee right there hanging with them.
Well, the thing about Township that usually sets them apart, and I think we saw last year, we were a little surprised at it, and it is kind of what compounded the greatness of that Eastern team last year, was they were able to beat Township in a couple close games, but Township finds a way to win those close games. in the division, and they beat Cherokee this year. It wasn't a divisional game that was actually at the RV tournament, but they did beat them, and then they came back earlier this week and beat Eastern, I believe by a run, in a game that they trailed most of the game. So that's what Township does. Now, you look, Eastern's a very, very good team. I think Cherokee's a very strong team. They have a first-year coach as well, and Mary Maggie. And, Shawnee is always going to be solid. That Olympic American is very, very tough. And when you look at the Tri-County, the Royal Division in Tri-County is also great. Cumberland, GCIT, Hamilton, Williamstown, Clearview, Kingsway, and also in Burlington County has a division with Northern Burlington, RV, Bordentown, Moorestown, and New Egypt. So I think those are the three best divisions in South Jersey, and not taking anything away from the other ones, but the Olympic American certainly is always there.
Yeah, EHT is going to have a tough test today against Clearview at 11 a.m. They're hosting the Pioneers, so that'll be a nice test early on for the Eagles.
EHT finds a way to get it done against Millville again last week by a run. It's the third time in 2 years they've beaten them by a run. I love what this EHT team's doing early on. They're certainly rising up to mean 15. Would be an interesting test today to see if they can handle, see if they can move on and remain undefeated. But that Group 4 in South Jersey is so tough. Somebody's going to be left out. There's going to be a couple teams left out that ultimately are very, very good teams. And I'm not saying that just for lip service, just to be nice to people. There are absolutely, there's a ton of very good teams in Group 4 that could maybe not win Group 3, but could certainly make a run at it that aren't even going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, Group 3 is going to be interesting as well. I mean, we had on Coach Tom Faulkner of Lacey Township last week. They have Chelsea Howard, an all-state caliber player. But Mainland lost to them in the sectional final last year, and they look to be just as strong, if not stronger, this year. I mean, they have a heck of a lineup. They put up 7 runs on previously undefeated Ocean City this week on Thursday, and Mackenzie Brennan picked up her 100th hit. Bailey Arena throwing a shutout. So they got some players that have been around there for a couple of years on varsity, and their offense. I mean, in their 5 wins, they're averaging about 8-9 runs a game.
The team that I have placed at number 2 in South Jersey overall is Washington Township. At number 3 is Elson, and that's a Group 3 school. You look at what they did last year. I thought they were spectacular. They didn't lose anybody, and they have Cumberland's first game of the season, I think it was. They beat them 7-0. They haven't lost to Cumberland since, I think, at least not in the last 3 years. But Delsey is very, very strong. I lost to Mainland last year in the playoffs, and like you said, Mainland ended up losing in the final. But I like this Delsey team, and I expect to see them back there. They're another team in Group 3. You can't ever count out Triton. They find a way to pull something. They always find a way to make a couple of playoff upsets and make a run. But Lacey, Pineland, is Absegami Group 3? I think they might be.
Yes, they are. They're off to a pretty good start as well.
Yeah, Absegami's strong. Group 3 is kind of that middle ground, but some very, very good softball. And I do like Delsey. I'm bullish on Delsey.
You're all about the Crusaders, huh?
I'm on a crusade for the Crusaders. I like what they're doing. Absolutely. They got 3 pitchers: Diana Parker, Anastasia Real, and they got another girl throwing this year. Her name eludes me right now, but 3 very good pitchers, and they can hit the ball. They could field the ball. I like them. I like them, Sully. I don't know what to tell you, man. I like them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about in softball, is that pitching. And, we'll see what happens with Absegami. They have a tremendous offense. They have a pretty good freshman pitcher in Kaylin Fluke, so we'll see how she develops throughout the year. Mainland's an interesting squad as well. They had Jillian McCarthy really came on strong as a freshman and sophomore. She had a little bit of an injury last year. Bailey Arenas kind of picked up the slack there, so they kind of have two pitchers there they can lean on. They're trying to get McCarthy back in throwing shape a little bit, kind of limiting her innings there. But Bailey's been stepping up for them. So the Cape Atlantic League's got some good squads, but obviously those teams over your way, they're a little bit of a cut above when you're talking about Township and Shawnee and Timber Creek and those kind of schools.
Well, last year I feel like we talk about it every week for good reason. Last year, Egg Harbor Township's run through the regular season and playoffs was certainly incredible to watch. And I look at them in Millville. I mean, those are two of the best teams in South Jersey. In my opinion, they're both. I think they're both top 6, 7, 8 teams. Really, I see Millville. I like what they do. And EHT just keeps getting it done. Township is very good every year. Right now, number 1 is Rancocas Valley. They have an excellent mix of players. They can field it. They have 5 lefties in the lineup. They can slap. They can hit power. They are very good. They beat Township in the RV tournament last weekend in the championship. So there are some very good teams up here. But Cape Atlantic League, when it comes to softball and certainly with baseball, then they really do churn out some pretty darn good teams as well.
Good stuff as always, Mark. We got to let you go up against the break here, getting ready for the Schweim show, the locker room. We got that coming up in a few minutes, but I appreciate you taking a few minutes. Enjoy your Easter, buddy.
Enjoy yours as well, Sully. It's always a pleasure, my man.
Send me that pic on Twitter of your Easter outfit. I'll see if it's up to par.
You got it, man.
All right, thanks, buddy. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too.
That was Mark Trible of the Courier-Post. Always